Like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Ukraine latest, Russia says the Moskva, the flagship of its Black Sea fleet, has sunk, with Ukraine claiming it was the result of a missile strike. Russia's military says the flagship of its Black Sea fleet has sunk after being badly damaged. Russia says 2 Ukrainian military helicopters entered Russia's airspace on Thursday and carried out an airstrike on the village of Klumovs, the defense ministry said on Thursday, local time. The missile cruiser Moskva sank while being towed back to port in stormy weather following an explosion and fire. The ministry had said earlier that the Soviet-era ship had been badly damaged by the fire, which Ukraine said was the result of a missile strike. Oleksiy Arestovich, advisor to the Ukrainian president's office, said in a Facebook post that 510 crew were on board the Moskva as it sank in the Black Sea. Military analyst Oleg Stent said the damaging of the Moskva significantly raises the morale of Ukrainian forces as a new wave of Russian attacks looms in the Donbas. In the early hours of Thursday, the Russian Defense Ministry said the ship sustained serious damage after its ammunition detonated as the result of a fire. The ministry did not ascribe the fire to a missile strike. Blood on their hands. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says European powers buying Russian energy have blood on their hands. The war in Ukraine has entered its 50th day, and Western allies have ramped up sanctions against Russia. But Europe has shown a reluctance to ban Russia's gas and oil supplies, which normally account for 40% of its total usage. Mr. Zelensky told the BBC anyone buying Russian energy was complicit in their atrocities. We don't understand how you can make money out of blood. Unfortunately, this is what some countries have been doing, European countries. Putin warns of negative impacts of Russian gas phase-out. Russian President Vladimir Putin warned Western countries' attempts to phase out Russian gas imports would have a negative impact on their economies. Speaking Thursday, Mr. Putin said European attempts to find alternatives to Russian gas shipments would be quite painful for the initiators of such policies. He argued there is simply no reasonable replacement for it in Europe now. Supplies from other countries that could be sent to Europe, primarily from the United States, would cost consumers many times more, Mr. Putin said. He added it would affect people's standard of living and the competitiveness of the European economy. Russia accuses Ukraine of airstrikes. Russian authorities have accused Ukrainian forces of launching airstrikes on the Russian region of Bryansk, which borders Ukraine, the latest in a series of allegations of cross-border attacks by Kyiv on Russian territory. Russia's investigative committee alleged 2 Ukrainian military helicopters entered Russia's airspace on Thursday and, moving at low altitude, acting deliberately, they carried out at least 6 airstrikes on residential buildings in the village of Klimovo, about 11 kilometers away from the Russian border. It said at least 6 houses in the village were damaged and 7 people, including a toddler, sustained injuries. The investigative committee has launched a probe into the attack. Earlier on Thursday, Russia's State Security Service, the FSB, also accused Ukrainian forces of firing mortars at a border post in the Bryansk region on Wednesday. The reports could not be independently verified. Earlier this month, Ukraine's top security officials denied Kyiv was behind an airstrike on an oil depot in the Russian city of Belgorod, 35 miles from the border. Macron hesitant to say genocide. French President Emmanuel Macron declined to use the term genocide to describe Russia's Ukraine war, arguing against an escalation of words. Asked about the use of the term by U.S. President Joe Biden, Mr. Macron said the word genocide must be spelled out by jurists, not by politicians. Speaking on French radio station France Bleu, Mr. Macron said he spoke to Mr. Zelensky on Thursday and would speak again with him later in the day. He said he would do everything to end this war and stay by the Ukrainian side. Mr. Macron previously denounced war crimes in Ukraine, and France sent magistrates and police officers to help the International Criminal Court, which opened an investigation. Meanwhile, French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian said France would very soon move its embassy in Ukraine back to the capital Kyiv from the western city of Lviv, during a phone call with his Ukrainian counterpart Dmytro Kuleba. Russia arrests Siberian journalists. Russian news reports say a criminal case has been opened against a Siberian journalist whose news website had published content critical of Russia's military operation in Ukraine. Mikhail Afanasyev, the chief editor of Novy Focus in the Russian region of Khakassia, was arrested by security forces on Wednesday over the